I was so excited to start my new job in this vibrant city. The hustle and bustle of the streets, the towering skyscrapers, and the endless sea of people all signaled a new beginning for me. It was a chance for a fresh start, a chance to reinvent myself. The city skyline at dawn, with its promise of new opportunities, filled me with hope and determination. I was filled with anticipation, ready to embrace all the opportunities that awaited me. The parks, the streets, and the people all seemed to welcome me with open arms, and I felt a sense of belonging. The energy of the city was palpable, and I felt like I was finally where I was meant to be. The constant movement, the vibrant life, and the endless possibilities made every moment exciting. Every day felt like an adventure, full of promise and possibility. From exploring hidden gems to discovering new favorite spots, the city was a treasure trove waiting to be uncovered. The move had been seamless, and I quickly settled into my new apartment. The space felt like home almost immediately, and I enjoyed arranging my furniture and adding personal touches to make it truly mine. I explored the neighborhood, familiarizing myself with the local coffee shops, parks, and bookstores. Each new discovery added to my excitement and made me feel more connected to my new surroundings. I couldn't wait to dive into my work and make my mark on this exciting new chapter of my life. The modern workspace, the innovative projects, and the dynamic team all inspired me to give my best. I was determined to succeed and create a fulfilling life for myself in this city of dreams. With every small success, my confidence grew, and I knew I was on the right path to achieving my goals. As the weeks turned into months, however, a strange thing happened. The initial excitement began to fade, replaced by a creeping sense of isolation. I found myself feeling like an outsider, observing the city and its people from a distance. It was as if an invisible wall had been erected between us, separating me from the very community I longed to be a part of. I started to see the city through a different lens. I noticed the subtle differences in accents, customs, and even the way people interacted with each other. I began to make distinctions between us and them, categorizing myself as an outsider looking in. It was a subtle shift in perception, but it had a profound impact on my experience of the city. This newfound sense of division began to seep into my professional life as well. It was as if an invisible barrier had been erected, separating me from those around me. I interacted with clients who seemed so different from me, their perspectives and backgrounds a stark contrast to my own. Their lives and experiences were a world away from my own, making it difficult to find common ground. I struggled to connect with them on a deeper level, often feeling like an outsider in my own professional environment. To see beyond the surface and find common ground became a daily challenge. I longed for meaningful interactions but found myself stuck in superficial exchanges. The wall I had built in my mind was creating a barrier to genuine human connection. It was as if I was watching life unfold from behind a glass wall, unable to fully participate. My work, which had always been a source of joy and fulfillment, started to feel like a chore. The passion that once fueled my days was slowly fading away. I found myself going through the motions, lacking the enthusiasm I once possessed. Late nights at the office became more frequent, but the satisfaction was no longer there. The isolation I felt was taking its toll, and I knew I needed to find a way to bridge the gap between myself and the city I now called home. The bustling streets and crowded offices only seemed to amplify my sense of loneliness. I realized that to truly connect, I needed to break down the walls I had built and open myself up to new experiences and perspectives. It was time to find a way to reconnect with the world around me. One day, I was venting my frustrations to a senior colleague, a kind and insightful woman who had been with the company for many years. She listened patiently as I poured out my heart, sharing my feelings of isolation and my struggle to connect with the city and its people. When I was finished, she smiled gently and offered a piece of advice that would change my perspective entirely. Instead of focusing on the differences, she said, "Why don't you try to understand the city's heart and soul? Learn about its history, its culture, its people. You might be surprised by what you find." Section 5. Opening up to the unknown. My initial reaction was skepticism. How could learning about history and culture possibly break down the walls I had built in my mind? It seemed like a far cry from the solution I was hoping for. But there was something about my colleague's words, her genuine belief in the power of understanding, that resonated with me. I decided to take her advice. I began by visiting the local historical society, immersing myself in the city's rich past. I explored museums and art galleries, absorbing the stories and experiences of the people who had come before me. I attended cultural events, opening myself up to new forms of music, dance, and art. Section 6. The city's story unfolds. As I delved deeper into the city's narrative, I began to see it with new eyes. I discovered the struggles and triumphs, the joys and sorrows that had shaped its identity. I learned about the waves of immigrants who had arrived on its shores, each bringing their own unique traditions and perspectives, weaving their stories into the tapestry of the city. I was amazed by the resilience of the human spirit, the ability to overcome adversity and create something beautiful and enduring. I started to see the city not as a monolith, but as a collection of individual stories, each one a thread in the intricate web of human experience. Section 7. Breaking down the walls. With each new discovery, the walls I had built in my mind began to crumble. These walls, constructed from years of misconceptions and unfounded fears, started to show cracks. I realized that the things that made this city unique were the very things that connected us all: our shared humanity, our collective spirit, and the vibrant tapestry of cultures that wove us together. Our capacity for love and loss, for joy and sorrow, became the threads that bound us. Our hopes and dreams for a better future, our shared aspirations for a world where everyone can thrive, became the foundation of our unity. The differences I had once perceived as barriers began to fade into the background, dissolving into a mosaic of shared experiences and mutual respect, replaced by a growing sense of kinship, a feeling that we were all part of something greater than ourselves. I started to see reflections of myself in the lives of the people around me. Their joys became my joys, their struggles my struggles. I heard echoes of my own struggles in their stories, resonating deeply within me, my own aspirations and their dreams, intertwining with theirs to create a collective vision for the future. I realized that we were not so different after all, that our differences were merely surface level. Beneath the surface of our perceived differences lay a common ground of shared human experience, a profound connection that transcended all boundaries. Section 8. A shared human experience. One day, while meeting with a client, I had a profound realization. We were discussing a particularly challenging situation, and as she shared her story, I felt a surge of empathy wash over me. I had experienced something similar in my own life, and in that moment, I saw her not as a client, but as a fellow traveler on this journey we call life. I shared my own story with her, and as I did, I could see the walls crumbling between us. We connected on a deep and meaningful level, sharing our vulnerabilities, our fears, and our hopes for the future. It was a powerful reminder that true connection transcends any perceived differences. Section 9. We are all connected. That experience was a turning point for me. I began to approach every interaction, both personal and professional, with a newfound sense of openness and curiosity. I made a conscious effort to listen to people's stories, to understand their perspectives, to find the common threads that bound us together. As I did, I discovered a richness and depth to human connection that I had never imagined possible. I learned that true understanding comes not from focusing on our differences, but from embracing our shared humanity. We are all connected, each of us a part of something much larger than ourselves. Section 10. Embracing our shared humanity. My journey of discovery didn't end there. It was the beginning of a lifelong exploration of what it means to be human, to connect with others on a soul level, to embrace the beauty and diversity of the human experience. It was a journey that took me beyond the confines of my own limited perspective and opened my heart to the infinite possibilities of human connection. I realized that true happiness and fulfillment come not from isolating ourselves from the world, but from embracing it fully, with all its complexities and contradictions. It is in the messy, imperfect tapestry of human experience that we find our greatest joys, our deepest connections, and our most profound lessons. Section 11. A journey of the soul. The journey from us to them is ultimately a journey of the soul, a journey of awakening to the interconnectedness of all things. It is a journey that requires us to confront our own biases, to challenge our preconceived notions, to open our hearts and minds to the possibility of something greater than ourselves. It is a journey that is both challenging and rewarding, one that leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves, our world, and the very nature of existence. It is a journey worth taking, for it is in the embrace of our shared humanity that we discover the true meaning of love, compassion, and belonging.